Have you ever been told by coworkers and colleagues that you sound monotone when you're speaking in front of others? You may know that you have that tendency, but you don't know how to develop a more dynamic voice. In this week's challenge, we are going to discuss how to develop that dynamic voice and create vocal engagement. My name is Jayne Latz, and this is week 2 of our challenge, of our weekly challenge on developing dynamic presentation skills. So what is a monotone voice? A monotone voice is one that doesn't fluctuate in pitch, tone, or use the very impactful pause. So it might sound something like this. You're late again. If I was a boss telling someone you're late again, and I'm just saying it, you're late again, they're going to continue to be late because there's really no emphasis on that. There's no urgency. But if I was to use the power of my speech and say, you're late again, do you hear the difference? Now there's a little bit more urgency. I'm aware that you are always late. You're late again. Did you also notice how I paused after I said late? Because that's where, think of it almost like using a yellow highlighter. That's where I can highlight that word that I want emphasized. And let's shift. Maybe you're never late. How about this? Monotone. Our sales figures are up 30% this year. Doesn't really sound enthusiastic, does it? Now listen with a little bit of vocal engagement. The sales figures are up 30% this year. We're so excited they're up. Last year was a bad year. Doesn't really matter how much. The emphasis is on the word up. But now listen how I can shift even that message. The sales figures are up 30% this year. Notice the emphasis that time on 30%, because we were up last year, so we're happy that we're up, but we're up 30%, and that's the key. Last year, maybe we were only up 10%, and we're just so excited that it's 30%. So fluctuate your voice. Use stronger volume, use higher pitch, use the power of the pause to really impact your message. Are you ready for your challenge this week? I'd like you to take an article or any reading material that's not digital, a magazine, newspaper, and I want you to highlight or underline a word that you think needs to be emphasized. So you can highlight one word in a sentence or even two. And then I want you to read the sentence first in a monotone voice. No change in pitch or tone. Then I want you to try to emphasize that key word. Think of that highlighter. We use our voice and our tone for what I call a visual highlighter. So use your voice to enhance that key word. And don't worry, there's not one word that's right. It's how you perceive the emphasis in that sentence. Where do you want the meaning to be highlighted? So again, do first the recording that's monotone and then the recording that emphasizes a key word or words. I want you to play back the two messages and see if you can hear the difference. You may not hear a difference, or you may hear too much. Either one just needs practice. That's why I'm giving you the whole week. And if you still are not sure, then play it to a friend, a colleague, a family member, and let them give you feedback, because sometimes we can't hear ourselves. My goal for you is to identify the difference between a monotone voice and strong vocal engagement, and then practice so it becomes very natural for you to always have a dynamic speaking voice. Closing. I'm Jayne Latz with Corporate Speech Solutions, and I look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with our next challenge.